Dear students, in previous class we have discussed about northwest corner rule and Vogel's approximation method, right? Now let us move to the optimality test. Again it is the revision of your Vogel's approximation, or your northwest corner rule also you can apply, it is left to you. But if they mention particularly about warm method or northwest corner rule, you have to apply that method only. Okay. Now optimality test. The practical steps involved in optimality tests are given below. First, compute Ui and Vj for all rows and columns respectively on the basis of allocated cells such that Cij equal to Ui plus Vj. What is meant by Ui and what is meant by Vj? That is row wise and column wise elements. Okay. Now after taking any Ui or Vj equal to 0. Now how to fix Ui 0 or Vj 0, that we have to discuss later. Where Cij represent what? Suppose shipping cost per unit of occupied cell. I represent row number. J represent column number. UI represent shipping cost per unit of supplying station, and VJ stands for shipping cost per unit of receiving station, that is supplying and receiving. I represent row, J represent column, and Cij represent cost per unit. Okay. Now here you have to remember the following note. While taking any ui or vj equal to 0, if you want to fix any ui or vj 0, that row or column which is having maximum allocated cells, you have discussed this maximum allocated cells concept discussed in Vogel's approximation. Wherever we will get the maximum allocation, either it may be in the row or it may be in the column, that particular element you have to choose it as a 0. Okay, should preferably be selected. Compute opportunity cost or OC, opportunity cost or OC for unallocated cells. Okay, what is that opportunity cost? That is OC equal to Cij minus Uij plus Vij. You have to use this formula to occupy the unallocated cells in the form of opportunity cost formula. Okay, if OC of each cell is either positive or 0, initial feasible solution is the optimal solution. Suppose the computed value of the Cij minus Uij plus Vij, if it is 0 or positive, then we can say the initial feasible solution is optimal. However, if OC for any cell is negative, suppose if it is negative, then the initial feasible solution is not optimal. Okay. Now, the computed OC is negative, then we can say that it is not optimal. In that case, find closed loop for the cell having negative OC and transfer entire quantity from the allocated cell having minimum quantity that is covered by that loop amongst all allocated. Now here you have to remember this. First, opportunity cost how to find with the help of Cij minus Uij plus Vij, right? If the opportunity cost is either positive or 0, then we can say that the initial feasible solution is optimal. Suppose if it is negative, that is OC for any cell is negative, then the initial feasible solution is not optimal. In such a case, what we have to do? Find closed loop for the cell having negative OC and transfer entire quantity from the allocated cell having minimum quantity. That is covered by what? Covered by that loop amongst all allocated, right? Now, here allocated cells covered by that loop. Now to the unallocated cells having negative OC, we have to apply that rule. Now very important note, the above procedure will be followed even in case what? OC of any unallocated cell is 0 and OC of other unallocated cell is positive to get alternative solution. Okay, that we will discuss during problem explanation. Now, step 4 here. See whether total number of allocated cells after step 3 is equal to m plus n minus 1. What is meant by m and n? Number of rows and number of columns, right? If yes, go to step 5. If not, introduce an infinitely small quantity E or epsilon to the least cost independent cell, that is for which no loop can be formed. Okay, now introduce as many number of epsilon or E as the total number of allocated cells falls below m plus n minus 1. Here you have to check whether the total number of allocated cell is equal to number of rows plus number of columns minus 1. Then if it is the case, then you can move to the next step. Or else you have to introduce a new quantity E or epsilon such that, say, we have to allocate it for what? Here, to the least cost independent cell, that is for which no loop can be formed. Now, here step 5 is what? Repeat step 1 to 4 till OC of all unallocated cell is positive. So, our main intention is to obtain OC should be positive for each and every unallocated cell. Okay. Now let us move to the another very important method, that is modified distribution method, or we can say it as MODI method. Okay. Now what are the steps behind with this? First step, find an initial basic feasible solution using any one of the three methods. Now here in your syllabus only NWCM, northwest corner method, and WAM, that is Vogel's approximation method. You can find the initial basic feasible solution by using any one of this method. Now step 2, find Ui and Vj for rows and columns. That means you have to find the element for rows and columns. To start, first one, assign 0 to Ui or Vj where maximum number of allocation in a row or column respectively, that we have discussed in previous step again, right? We have to assign 0 to either Ui or Vj such that we should identify which row or column contains maximum number of allocation. Based on that, we have to choose UI0 or VJ0. Now calculate other UIs and VJs using Cij equal to UI plus Vj for all occupied cells. That is, you have to find remaining Ui and Vjs by using the formula Cij equal to Ui plus Vj. What is meant by Cij? Suppose C2 3, that is nothing but U2 plus V3. Like that we have to find. Now step 3. For all unoccupied cells, calculate Dij, or some textbook it has given delta ij, it is one at the same, which is equal to Cij minus Ui plus Vj. That is nothing but if you take Cij minus of this quantity to one side, that itself is Dij or delta ij. Now here there are three different cases you have to verify. Check the sign of Dij, that is delta ij or Dij. If Dij is greater than 0, then current basic feasible solution is optimal and stop this process. Okay. So here if Dij is greater than 0, then no need to continue further. There itself you can write the basic feasible solution is optimal. Okay. Suppose if Dij equal to 0, then alternative solution exists with the different set allocation and same transportation cost. Now stop this procedure. Suppose if Dij, the computed value of Dij, suppose if it is 0, then alternative solution also exists with different set allocation and same transportation cost. Cost will be same, but different set of allocation will be allowed here. Okay, at that stage we have to stop the procedure. Suppose if Dij is negative or less than 0, then the given solution is not an optimal solution and further improvement in the solution is possible. Say if Dij is negative, then we cannot say it is an optimal solution. So that's why we have to mention here solution is not optimal and we have to further improve it with the help of some other method if possible. Now step 5. Select the unoccupied cell with the largest negative value of Dij. Select unoccupied cell with the largest negative value of Dij and include in the next solution. Okay. Now what about step 6? Draw a closed path or a loop from the unoccupied cell selected in the previous step. Here this step is based on the previous step, that is here we need to construct a loop or a closed path from the unoccupied cells. Okay, the right angle turn in this path is allowed only at occupied cells and at the original unoccupied cells. Mark plus and minus sign alternatively at each corner starting from the original occupied cell. This step is not that much mandatory, but here it is less than 0, then only it will be a problem. Okay. Now what about step 7? Select the minimum value from cells marked with the negative sign of the closed path. Assign this value to selected unoccupied cell. So unoccupied cell become occupied now. Add this value to the other occupied cells marked with the plus sign. Subtract this value to the other occupied cells marked with the negative sign. Now here repeat the step 2 to step 7 until optimal solution is obtained. This procedure stops when all Dij is greater than or equal to 0 for unoccupied cells. Our main agenda is to check to get the optimal solution. This Dij is nothing but what? Cij minus Ui plus Vj. So which is positive for unoccupied cells. That is our main agenda. Okay. Now let us discuss with one by one problem under this. Now look at here. First one. Solve the following transportation problem using MODI method. Modified distribution method. Now the given question is here source and a destination given. Source represent ABC, destination PQRS. So there are 3 sources and destination 4 here. Now from the source A to the destination P, the supply here the element is 21 they mentioned. From the source A to the destination Q 16. From the source A to the destination R is 25. From the source A to the destination S is 13. And from the source A the supply is 11. And from the source B to the destination P is 17. From the source B to the destination Q is 18. From the source B to the destination R is 14. From the source B to the destination S is 23. And from the source B, the supply is 13. Next, from the source C to the destination P is 32. From the source C to the destination Q is 17. From the source C to the destination R is 18. From the source C to the destination S is 41. And from the source C, the supply is 19 unit. Okay. Now, from the destination P, the demand is 6. From the destination Q, the demand is 10. From the destination R, the demand is 12. And from the destination S, demand is 15 given. Now here we have to check whether the total demand matches with the total supply or not. Look into this part here. What is the total supply? 11 plus 13 plus 19. So if you add, you will get 43, right? Now if you add the demand 6 plus 10 plus 12 plus 15, again we are getting 43. So clearly the total supply which is matching with the total demand. So supply is equal to demand, therefore the transportation problem is balanced and there exists a feasible solution to the problem. Okay. Now let us solve this problem with the help of WARM. That will be easy to compute. That is Vogel's approximation method. For that what we require? First we have to check the penalty. Then we have to apply the least cost maximum penalty concept, right? What is meant by penalty? We have to find row wise and column wise difference between smallest numbers and choose least cost and maximum penalty row or column. Okay. Once again, we have to check whether the total supply is matching with the total demand. If it matches, then we can say that the transportation problem is balanced one and there exists feasible solution to the problem. And how to calculate the penalty? We have to find row wise and column wise difference between the smallest numbers and choose the least cost and maximum penalty. Now here let us construct a table based on this. See here PQRS given. Here shortcut method we have followed because its explanation already given in the previous lecture. Now first we have to find the penalty. How to find the penalty? First look into this. What is the minimum numbers, smallest numbers amongst these three? We have to find 21 minus 17. What is the minimum here? 21 and 17. Take its difference and write the penalty 1. That is what? 21 minus 17 is here penalty 4. Similarly, what is the lowest numbers here? 16 and 17. So what is the penalty? 17 minus 16, that is 1. Next, what is the lowest number amongst these three? 18, 14 and 25. So here 18 minus 14, right here penalty 1 is 4. Next, what about this one? 23, 13 are the two smallest numbers amongst this column. You should not consider demand. Demand is not included in the source. Now 13 minus 10, 23 minus 13, here we will get the difference 10. So the penalty 1 in each column we have done. Similarly, compute the penalty 1 in each row wise. What we will get here? What is the minimum number amongst these 4? 16 and 13 are the two smallest number. Take the difference of this 16 minus 13, that is 3. That is penalty 1. Okay. Next, what about this 17 and 14 are the two numbers which is the smallest amongst these 4. So 17 minus 14 means again 3, penalty 1, right? Next, along the third row, 32, 17, 18 and 41. What are the two smallest numbers here? 18 and 17. So take the difference amongst these two. 18 minus 17 gives 1. So that is the penalty for the particular row P1. Okay. So we have finished with the P1. Now look into P1 row wise and column wise. What you will get? Which is the maximum penalty? You have to check. What is the maximum penalty here? 4, 1, 4, 10 and 3, 3, 1. So maximum penalty is for here 10, right? Now you have to mark it as a upper arrow or you mark it as a dark. Okay. Now in this particular column, check which is the least value. Comparatively, these three, what is the least? Maximum penalty column, least value is for 13. Now we have to assign the lowest demand or supply to that particular value. Look into this. Here demand is 15 and supply is 11. So assign this 11 to that particular value so that all 11 supply will get cancelled. So you have to strike out the first row. At simultaneously, since here we have assigned 11 to the first value, you have to subtract that 11 from this demand 15. Remaining is 15 minus 11, that is 4 remains, right? Again compute the difference, that is penalty 2. You have to compute once again. Now here our first row vanished. Now compute among only the second row and third row. You should be very careful. After assigning all 11 here, this completely supply vanished. So first row you have to remove from your list. Now what we will get remaining is these two rows only. Now again compute the penalty 2. Now what is penalty 2? 32 minus 17, that is 15. Next, 18 minus 17, penalty to 1. 18 minus 14, 4. 41 minus 23, that is 18. So, column wise penalty we computed. Now again, row wise penalty, here this one not required because it is already vanished. Now, what we have to do? Again, this remains same because we have not altered any row right here. So, what we will get? minimum minimum value is what here? Find out the minimum penalty from this. What you will get? 17 minus 14, that is 3, and 18 minus 17, here 1. So penalty 2 over. Now look into this penalty 2 particular row or column. Here very smallest value 3 and 1 only, but here we can see 15, 1, 4, 18. So which is the maximum penalty? We can see 18 is the maximum penalty. Now after looking into this maximum penalty 18, consider this particular column and assign the least value from supply or demand. Now which is the least value of supply? See, you have to consider maximum penalty row or column and lowest value of demand or supply. Now here out of 15 we have removed 11 already, here 4 remains, right? But here what remains? 13 remains. What is the smallest, 4 or 13? So 4 is the smallest. So assign that to the least value from this particular column. Here 23 and 41, out of this 23 is the least value. So we have to assign this 4 to this particular value. Then what happens? This complete column vanishes, because here we have already assigned remaining 4 to this 4, so there is no demand left from this particular, so the last column vanishes. Simultaneously we have to remove this 4 from what? This supply 13. So 13 minus 4 gives 9. Okay, now for the next computation you have to remove first row and last column. We should not consider it for further calculation because it's job over now. Now look into these two rows and compute once again penalty 3. What is penalty 3 here? Again 32 minus 17 is 15. 18 minus 17 is 1. Then 18 minus 14 is 4, and there is nothing left. This column we should not consider for remaining calculation. Simultaneously compute penalty 3 from the row wise. Here we should eliminate this. Now 17 minus 14 is 3 and 18 minus 17 is 1. So penalty 3 we have computed. Here 3 and 1 very smallest element, but here penalty 3, 15, 1, 4, right? So what is the highest value penalty here? 15 is the highest. Now look into this particular column, but you remember this first row already eliminated. Now look into this column. Which is the least element comparatively this two row? 17 is the least element. Now what we have to do? We have to assign demand and supply, minimum demand and supply to this. What is demand here? 6, and what is supply in this? 9. So comparatively 6 and 9, here 6 is the least. So assign this 6 to here. Then demand completely vanished, and here simultaneously here you have to remove this 6 from this 9, you will get 3. Okay, now what happened? This first column also vanished. Now what and all vanished? In the first penalty 1 case, first row vanished. Penalty 2 case, last row column vanished. Now penalty 3 case, first column vanished. Now what remains now? Only this 4 element remains, right? Now here we have to compute penalty 4. See, there is no penalty in the first column because first column already vanished. Now what is penalty 4 in this case? 18 minus 17 means 1. Again 18 minus 14 means 4, and there is no penalty for this because this column also vanished already. Now compute the penalty for row wise. What we will get here? See here only these two elements. 18 minus 14 means 4. 18 minus 17 means 1. So penalty 4 we have computed. Now look into this. Here 140, here 41. Now it is left to you because penalty 4, here two elements is same. 4 is the maximum penalty. Now which one we have to consider? Either this column or this row. You have to think. Now what is the minimum value allocated here? See here. Here demand is 12 and here supply is 3 remaining. So better I will take the least value term along with this only, because we can easily assign this smallest value to this. So assign this smallest 3 value comparatively. 12 and 3, which is the least element, 3 is the least element, assign that 3 to this particular column. Then what happened? This row again vanished, and simultaneously this 3 we have to remove from the demand 12. So what happened here in the P4 case? In the P4 case, our row 2 vanished. So what and all vanished? P1 case, row 1 vanished. P2 case, column 4 vanished. P3 case, row 1, column 1 vanished. And P4 case, row 2 vanished. Now what remains? Only this 2 element remains. Now here penalty 5, what is penalty 5? 17 only, because there is no 2 terms left to compute. Now and simultaneously what is the penalty for this particular column? 18 only, because nothing left to take its difference. So 18 only the penalty. Simultaneously compute the row wise penalty P5. So 18 minus 17 means only 1 remains here. So which is the highest penalty? So 18 is the highest penalty. Consider that particular column. Here you have to consider only this 18 element, because row 1, row 2 already we removed. Now comparatively the demand 12 and supply, what remains here? Supply. We should consider, we should allocate that lowest value to the particular. Here lowest element remaining is what? 9, right? We have removed this 12 minus 3 we have done, and we have made it 9. Now in this 9 and 19, which is the lowest element, we have to assign that value to this one. So what happens here? This 9 we have to assign to this particular value. Then what happens? Again this column completely vanished, and simultaneously what we have to do? We have to remove this 9 from the total supply. So 19 minus 9 gives us 10. Now what remains here? Only this element only remains. Rest all, row 1, row 2 vanished, column 1, column 3, column 4 vanished. Only left thing is column 2. Now here penalty is what? If you compute column wise as well as row wise, the penalty will be same, because 17 is 17 only, right? So what is P6 here? 17 only. Even here P6 is 17 only. Now what we have to do here? Here demand also 10, even supply also 10. See, demand also 10, supply also 10. So assign that 10 to this particular element. So that time completely supply also vanish and demand also vanish. So here total supply and total demand we finished, and each and every row and column we have done with the allocation process. Now how to find the minimum cost from this? Just you write only the table containing the allocated cells. Okay, see here. So find the initial basic feasible solution by using VAM, since the number of sum of demand equal to sum of supply. Final initial basic feasible solution is what? Source or destination. Here A, B, C, a P, Q, R, S. Here what remains? 21, 16, 25, 13, here 11 we allocated, then 17, 16, here 18, here 14, 3, 23, 4, 32, here 17, 10, 18, 9, 41. Now how to compute here maximum? Actually the allocation should be how much? M plus N minus 1. Check whether it matches the given expression. See here allocation process 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have done with the 6 allocation. But actually what is number of rows? Number of rows is 3. Number of columns is 4. So 3 plus 4, 7. 7 minus 1, that is 6. So it exactly matches. So the solution is non-generate basic feasible. Number of positive independent allocation equal to what? M plus N minus 1, that is 3 plus 4 minus 1 equal to 6, right? Now the initial transportation cost becomes what now? Now you have to compute one by one. See, 11 into 13 plus 7 in 17 into 6 plus 7, 14 into 3 plus 23 into 4 plus 17 into 10 plus 18 into 9. So what we will get? Rupees 711. So actually this process we have done in the previous lecture. Again this is the revision concept because we have to move further for the optimality solution by Modi method or modified distribution method, right? Now to find the optimal solution we apply Modi method in order to determine the optimal solution. For this what we have to consider? We determine a set of numbers ui and vj for each row and column with what? Cij equal to ui plus vj for each occupied cell. Now let us choose u2 equal to 0. Why we are choosing u2 equal to 0? As the second row has the maximum number of allocations. See here, look into this table. First row only one allocation, right? Only one allocation. But for second row 1 2 3 allocations are there, and for third row only 2 allocations, right? Now what we have to do, since here for the second row 3 allocations are there, comparatively 1 2 3 3 is the maximum, therefore we have to choose u2 as 0. Okay, now u2 equal to 0 as the second row has the maximum number of allocation. Now since u2 equal to 0, you can find particular Cij from this, that is C21. How to find? Because u20 means here C2J is nothing but u2 plus Vj, so that we can find remaining all unoccupied cells easily. So for that purpose we have to use which formula? See here, particular row you consider first. Since C here u2 equal to 0, so occupied cell, remaining cells, what remains here? C2 2, C23, like that you need to find. Okay, C21, C22, C23. So that you can get V1, V2, V3 values with the help of this. So what is C21? C21 is what? U2 plus V1. Similarly, C23 is what? U2 plus V3. C24 is what? U2 plus V4, right? Now compute one by one. Now what is C21? U2 plus V1. But U2 is what here? 0 every case, right? 0 plus 0 plus 0. And V1 is here V1 only, V3 only, here V4 only. But what is this? C21 means what is the value of C21 in previous case? C21, second row, first column. C21 value is what? 17, right? Second row, first column. So U2 plus V1 equal to 17. But what is U2? U2 we already took it as a 0. So what is V1? V1 equal to 17. See. Similarly, what is C23? C23 is nothing but U2 plus V3, that is 0 plus V3 equal to what? C23, second row, third column. See, 14. Similarly, C24 is what? 23. Okay, like that you have to find. So what? U2 plus V3 equal to 0 plus V3 equal to 14. So what is V3 value? 14. Now, what is C24? C24 is nothing but U2 plus V4. But U2 is 0 already we took. And what about V4? V4 is nothing but what? Here 0 plus V4 equal to what is C24? We have already discussed here. C24 means second row, fourth column, that is 23. So what is the V4 value? 23 we are getting, right? Now similarly find out the remaining cells, which is here, what is left here? See here, C14 you can find easily. Then C32 and C33 you can find easily, right? Now what is C14? C14 is nothing but U1 plus V4, that is 13, right? U1 plus V4, that is what? 13. But what is V4? V4 already we got a 23. So U1 plus 23 equal to 13. So what is U1? 13 minus 23, that is minus 10. Next C33. How to find C33? U3 plus V3. But U3 is unknown. What is V3? V3 is 14. That is nothing but what is C33? Just substitute here. C33. Sorry, this one. C33. That is nothing but what here? 18. Now simplify third row, third column means here 18, right? Now find out this value. So U3 plus 14 equal to 18. Therefore what is U3? 18 minus 14, that is 4. Now here we are getting what? V1, V1, V3, U1, V1, V3, V4, and U1 we know, U2 is 0 already we know, U3 we know, right? Now here, now we find the sum of ui plus vj for each empty cells and enter at the bottom left corner of that cell. Now next we find the net evaluation, that is dij equal to cij minus ui plus vj for each unoccupied cell and enter at the bottom right corner of that cell. See here, whatever we obtained ui and vj right here, what and all we got? ui, u1, u2, u3. u1 is minus 10, u2 is 0, u3 is 4. And what is v1, v2, v3, v4? We have done here. v1 equal to 17, v3 equal to 14, v4 equal to 23. And what is v2? v2 you have to find. What is that? c22. c22 means u2 plus v2. So u2 is 0, v2 is what? Unknown, equal to what here? 18. So what will get? v2 equal to, finally you have to write that value here. So simplified form here. So v1 equal to 17, v2 equal to 13, v3 equal to 14, and v4 equal to 23 we got here. Now say here, what is given? dij equal to cij minus ui plus vj, right? Now first, now find the sum ui plus vj for each empty cell and enter at the bottom left corner. So sum you have to write to the left corner, and next we find the net evaluation with the help of this. That means what here? ui plus vj. See here, 17 minus 10. 17 minus 10 means what? 7 remains. That you have to write in the this left side of the element, and remaining element or net evaluation, or you can use dij equal to cij minus ui plus ej. So what will get out of this? 17 minus 10 means 7 you have to write here. So 21 minus 7 what remains? That you have to compute here. Okay. Similarly, what about this? 13 minus 10. 13 minus 10 means 3 remains. That you have to write to the left of this element, and remaining net evaluation. So 16 minus 3 is what? 13. You have to write in the right side. Now similarly we have to compute for what? This one. Because here again what we are getting? These are the unoccupied cells, right? So unoccupied cells we are filling now. Now what happens here? 13 plus 0. So what is 13? So remaining what? 5. You have to write to the right side of this value. Next, again there is nothing left here. Now come to this part. Here what happens? 17 plus 4. 17 plus 4 means 21 right here. Remaining is 11 right to the right side of the element. Okay, that is the procedure we have explained here. See. Now we find the sum of ui plus vj for each empty cell and enter at the bottom left corner of that cell. Next we find the net evaluation, that is dij equal to cij minus ui plus vj for each unoccupied cell and enter at the bottom right corner of that cell, right? Now that only we have done here. Now at the end, since all dij are greater than 0, the solution is optimal and unique. The optimal solution is given by what? Here. See here, all dij are positive. Now whatever you have computed, these values are what? 14, 11, 13, 5. See, all are positive here, right? Now what is here? So this optimal solution you have to write. See here, whatever we got, the additional thing, that you have to write as a x14. See, first row, fourth column, we got 11. Similarly, x21, that is 6. Similarly, x23, that is 3. x24, that is 4. Then x32, that is 10. x33, that is 9. So you have to write that values. See here. After that, the minimum transportation cost is what? This 11 multiplied for which element? Here, this one, 13. Then 6 multiplied with 17. Then 3 multiplied with the 14. Then 4 multiplied with the 23. 17 with the 10. 18 with the 9. So this itself is gives the minimum transportation cost, right? That is rupees 711 only. So if you solve with the help of WOM also you will get the same, and if you apply the Modi method also you will get the same, right? So this is the procedure to solve the problems under Modi method. Okay. Now let us move to the another example, that is solve the following transportation problem using Modi method, starting with the initial solution obtained by WOM. Again, what? We have Vogel's approximation method we are applying here. Now, first origin O1, O2, O3, demand D1, D2, D3, D4. So here origin 1 to demand 1, unit 2, for demand 2 unit 2, for demand 3 unit 2, again for demand 4 1. So origin 2 to demand 1 is 10, to origin 2 to demand 2 is 8, origin 2 to demand 3 is 5, origin 2 to demand 4 is 4. And origin 3 to demand 1 is 7, origin 3 to demand 2 is 6, origin 3 to demand 3 is 6, origin 3 to demand 4 is 8. Now the demand for destination 1 is 4, for destination 2 is 3, destination 3 is 4, again destination 4 is 4. What about supply 1 here? From origin 1 supply is 3 units, origin 2 supply is 7 units, and from origin 3 supply is 5 units. Now first we have to check whether the total demand matches with the total supply or not. Now calculate here total supply 3 plus 7 plus 5, that is 15. Again for demand 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4, that is what? 4 3 is 12, 12 plus 3 15. So clearly here the transportation problem is a balanced one, right? Now here supply equal to 3 plus 7 plus 5 equal to 15, demand equal to 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 equal to 15. Supply is equal to demand, therefore the transportation problem is balanced and there exists what? Feasible solution to the problem. Now since they have given here, we have to use the WOM method. So what we have to do here, with the help of penalty and all we have to compute. Penalty how to compute here? Row wise and column wise difference between smallest numbers and choose least cost and maximum penalty for the assigning values, right? See here that procedure we have explained in single table only because it is the revision of WAM. Now first compute the penalty for each and every row and each and every column. Now what is the two element, lowest element here? Smallest element is 7 and 2, the difference is 5. Similarly the smallest element is here 6 and 2, the difference is 4. Next again 6 and 2, difference is 4. Here 4 and 3, the difference is 3. So penalty 1 5 4 4 3 column wise. Similarly compute the penalty 1 row wise, that is 1 and 2 here. So the difference is 1, 5 and 4 again the difference is 1, and 6 and 6 the difference is 0. So penalty 1 row wise we are getting 1 1 0, but column wise 5 4 4 3. So what is the maximum penalty? Mark it. Now in that particular row or column, here we are getting column. Consider the least element, that is 2. For this we have to assign minimum value from the supply or demand. So here demand is 4, supply is 3. So what is the minimum out of this? You have to write here, that is 3. Okay, after assigning this 3, so this value completely vanished. So this row R1 completely vanished. Simultaneously what remains here? 1 remains, right? That, sorry, I forgot to mark here. Here 1 remains. Now after this what we have to do here? Again compute the penalty. So what is the penalty? 10 minus 7, that is 3, 8 minus 6, that is 2, 6 minus 5, that is 1, 8 minus 4, that is 4. Similarly compute penalty 2, here 4 and 5, that is 1, and here 6 and 6, that is 0. So here which is the largest penalty? P2, here 4 is the largest penalty. Now look into that particular column and what is the demand and what is the supply. So demand is 4 here, supply is 7. So compute here which is the lowest value, assign here 4. So this particular column vanished now. Here we have to subtract this 4 from this supply, remaining is 3. Okay, so what happened here? Here 3 remains, here 1 remains. Now again compute the penalty 3. What is the penalty 3? Now again 10 minus 7 is 3. Next 8 minus 6 is 2. Next 6 minus 5 is 1, and this column completely vanished, so no need to compute the penalty. And here row wise, first row we should not consider because it is already vanished. Now here 5 and 8 is the minimum value, so 3 is the penalty, and here 6 minus 6 is 0. So what is the highest value apart from this P3? Here 3 to 1, here also 3 and 0. So which is the maximum penalty? 3 is the maximum penalty. But simultaneously, where we have to concentrate, minimum value available in which row or column. See here 3 is there, but 10 and 7, right? 10 and 7, comparatively here 5 and 8. See here 8 and 5, here 10 and 7. So which value contains least? 5 is the least. So we have to assign this penalty 3 to this particular row, so that this R2 also vanish, right? Because sorry, this 3 penalty 3 maximum, this value we have to consider. Now look into this demand 4, and here demand 4 is there, and here what remains? Here already we have removed 4, remaining is 3 and this 4, here minimum is the 3 value, so that we have to assign here, so that completely the second row also vanishes. Simultaneously you have to remove this 3 from the demand, that is 4 minus 3 means 1 remains. Okay, so that you have to write here. Next, compute the penalty 4. What remains? This row 2 also vanished, row 2 also vanished, remaining term is what? Here we have to write this 7 as the value, because there is no row left to compute here the difference. So only 7 is the penalty, here 6 is the penalty, and here also 6 is the penalty. Similarly compute here P4 from this. 6 minus 6 means 0 remains. Now among these penalty 4, what is the highest value? 6 is the highest value, but here we are getting the same, right? 6 7 6 6, right? In this, what is the highest value? 7 is the highest value. Now assign the demand and supply. Which is the demand? Here remaining 1, because we have already supplied 3 here. 4 minus 3 is 1 remains here. Here 1, but supply is here what? Supply is what? Here 15. Now in this, what we have to remove? This one we have to remove, then this completely, this column also get vanished, and here what remains? You have to write that remaining term. Now compute the penalty 5. What is the penalty 5? This 6 only, even this also 6 only, and here 0, right? Penalty 5. Now what is the highest penalty? Here 6 and 6 together same, again here also 6 and 6 together same. So what we have to consider here? Here remaining term is 1 demand, and here 3, because we have already assigned this 3 here. For from the demand we have to remove that 3, so we will get 1. So which is the least demand here? 1. Assign that here. What happens? 1, after assigning 1 here, this completely column vanishes. Simultaneously you have to remove this 1 and this 1 from this. Here remaining is what? Completely the remaining is 3 value. So what is the supply left here? Only 3 left. Now compute the penalty 6. You have to remove the column 1, column 2, as well as column 4, and row 1, row 2. Only the left thing is here row 3, and that also only one element. Here if you compute the penalty, here also 6, P6 is 6, even column wise also 6, row wise also 6. So you have to assign that 6. For the element 6 we have to assign the demand. What remains here? 1. Here also 1 remains, right? So assign here. So complete column 3 also vanished. So here our procedure finished, because there is no demand or supply left for allocation of the row or column, right? Now final initial basic feasible solution is what? You have to write the origin 1, origin 2, origin 3 from the destination 1 2 3 4, whatever we have allocated, that we have to write properly. Now look into this. Here solution is non generate basic feasible. Number of positive independent allocation is what? M plus n minus 1. That is, number of rows is 3, number of columns is 4, minus 1 means 6 remains. The initial transportation cost is what? That is 2 into 3 plus 3 into 5 plus 4 into 4 plus 7 into 1 plus 6 into 3 plus 6 into 1. So obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 allocations, right? So the initial transportation cost is what? After computing this, you will get 68 rupees. Now we have to continue this optimization concept with the help of Modi method, that is modified distribution method. Now how to find the optimal solution? Here we apply Modi method in order to determine the optimal solution. We determine a set of numbers ui and vj for each row and column with the Cij equal to ui plus vj for each occupied cell. Now how to choose ui0 or vj0 here? Which row is the maximum allocation term here? See here, row 1 only 1 allocation, row 2 only 2 allocations, but row 3 3 allocations. So what we have to do here, since row 3 contains more allocations, so u3 equal to 0 we have to set. Now after setting this u3 equal to 0, you have to find remaining all terms available in that particular row. That is what? C31, C32, C33. Now how to find C31? See, C31 means 7, C32 means 6, C33 is 6, C34 is 8, like that. But here whatever is assigned already, that only we have to find. What is C31? 7. C32 is 6, C33 is 6. But what is C31 actually? U3 plus V1. So U3 plus V1 equal to 7. But u3 already we set 0. 0 plus v1 equal to 7, which implies v1 equal to 7. Next, C32 is nothing but what? u3 plus v2, which is equal to what? C32 is nothing but 6. That is u3 plus v2 equal to 6. But u3 is 0 already we have taken. So v2 equal to 6 we will get. Next, C33 equal to again 6 we are getting. So u3 plus v3 equal to 6. But u3 is 0 and 0 plus v3 equal to 6, which implies v3 equal to 6. Similarly, can you find the remaining? So which and all we need to find again? We need to find this one. C12, then C23, C24. All these three we need to find. Now compute it with the help of what? C23 is what? U2 plus V3. But u2 is unknown, v3 is already we found, that is 6, right? See here, v3 is 6. So use that and find what is u2 here. 5 minus 6, that is minus 1. Similarly, what is C24? C24 is nothing but u2 plus v4. But u2 is what we have already obtained, u2 minus 1. Minus 1 plus v4 equal to 4. Because C24 is nothing but what? Second row, fourth column, 4. So apply here the value of u2, then we will get v4 value. V4 equal to 4 plus 1, that is 5. Next, last one, C11. C11 stands for first row first column, and that is u1 plus v1. But first row first column, what is the element given? Occupied already, that is 2. So what is u1 plus v1 equal to 2? Therefore what is the value? u1 plus v1, but v1 is 7 we got already in the previous case. See, v1 equal to 7 here. So u1 plus 7 equal to 2. So what is u1? 2 minus 7, that is minus 5. Now we find the sum ui plus vj for each empty cell and enter at the bottom left corner of that cell. Next we find the net evaluation, that is with the help of what? Dij equal to Cij minus ui plus vj for each unoccupied cell and enter at the bottom right corner of that cell. It is just like a previous sum. See here, whatever we have obtained the allocation, that you have to write x. No need to enter here supply and demand, but instead of that you have to write ui and vj. Ui stands for u1, u2, u3. Vj stands for v1, v2, v3, v4. Whatever we obtained in the previous case, see here, that you have to replace back in this table. That is what we are getting: u1 equal to minus 1, u1 equal to minus 5, u2 equal to minus 1, u3 equal to 0, and v1 equal to 7, v2 equal to 6, v3 equal to 6, and v4 equal to 5 we are getting, right? Now at the end, here what we have to do, since all dij greater than 0, that is we are getting all dij are positive, right? Check here, all dij are positive. Here simultaneously what we need to do here, we have to find the left and right value. See these are the unoccupied cells, right? Now unoccupied cells we have to occupy by what? With the help of what? See here, 6 minus 5, that is 1. Write here 1, and remaining entry you have to write in the right hand side. Next, here also there is no occupation in the previous stage. So 6 minus 5, 1. Again remaining is what? 2 minus 1 means 1 you have to write here. Next, 5 minus 5, that is what? 0 you have to write here to the left side. Then here 1 minus 0 means 1 you have to write. Or if you add right and left values, you should get the middle value. Like that you have to arrange. Similarly, for the second row, what we have to do? For the second row, see here, 7 minus 1. 7 minus 1 means what? 6 remains. That you have to write to the left hand side. Then what remains? 10 minus 6 means 4. Or if you add the left and right side value, you should get the middle value. Next, 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 means 5. Right to the left hand side of this value. Then remaining is what? 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now rest all already occupied, no need to touch it. Now what about this last one left? So what? 5 plus 0, that is 5 right here, and remaining to the right hand side, that is 8 minus 5 is 3, or 5 plus 3 is 8. In between you should get this plus left side value and right side value together, we should get the middle value, right? Now how to compute now the minimum cost or the total transportation cost? Leave this particular two side occupied form. Now only we need to consider this value, this 1 2 3 4 5 6. So total m plus n minus 1, right? 3 rows, 4 columns, minus 1. So that is 6 elements. So 6 allocation we need to consider for the computation. Now here the optimal solution is what? We have obtained already, right? What optimal solution is what? See, what remains? X11 we got 3. Then X23, that is 3. Then X24, that is 4. Next, X31, that is 1. X32, that is 3. X33, that is 1. Now we have to multiply with these elements and add that. You will get the final answer. See here, x11 equal to 3, x23 equal to 3, x24 equal to 4, x31 equal to 1, x32 equal to 3, and x33 equal to 1. Now at the end we have to write the minimum transportation cost is what? 2 into 3 plus 3 into 5, this only. See, 2 into 3 plus 3 into 5 plus 4 into 4 plus 7 into 1 plus 6 into 3 plus 6 into 1. And check whether you get the same answer as Vogel's approximation. See here, total answer rupees is here 68. So our this expression matches with the what? Previous Vogel's method, right? See here, this is the Vogel's method. We got the same explanation. Here the only thing additional is what? After finding this Vogel's approximation, we have to find the optimal solution with the help of Modi method. That is, you have to set initially the ui or vj equal to 0 based on the highest allocations available in the VAM, that for that particular row or column. After setting that, you have to find out remaining elements, occupied elements from that table only. See here, since we have set here u3 equal to 0, you need to find C31, C32, C33, because this is already occupied. You need to find the remaining V1, V2, V3, like that. After finding that, you have to compute V1, V2, V3. Similarly, for the next C23, C24, C11. See here, whatever already occupied, see C11, C23, C24. So after finding that values, you need to compute. See, whatever you are not getting, see here, u2 is there, v4 is there, u1 is there, and u3 already we set 0, and v1, v2, v3 is there, right? That you have to write in the table. After that, we have to check which is not allocated. That one you have to allocate with the help of what? sum of these. 6 minus 5 write here to the left side, and remaining you have to write to the right side of that element. Okay, similarly for each and every case of this table. Now at the end, what we have to do, we have to find m plus n minus 1. Again same procedure, and here the optimal solution element is what, whatever you assigned already, that one itself is x11. See here x11, and next here x23, then x24, then x31, x32, x33, that you have to write, and just multiply this occupied, earlier occupied terms, and finally add, you will get the minimum transportation cost only. Okay, thank you dear students. You have to work out remaining problems under Modi method. First process is same as VAM only. Next you have to proceed with the Modi method, that is modified distribution method. Okay, thank you.